Okay, happy bank holiday, everybody. My name is Winston Duncan, and I am a book confidence coach. And today we are going to look at editing, how I edit. Now, edit takes a very long time for me anyway. No, but in general, it does. Editing and typesetting is the longest parts of publishing. And I just wanted to give you a little insight into how I do it. Now, I've never done this before, so bear with me. It's going to be a bit strange trying to speak it out. That's why I didn't want to make it alive. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, me personally, I'm just going to make it yellow. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because it just helps my eyes to see the screen. So the book that we're editing today is The Popcorn House. And in particular, this particular part is by head teacher Miriam Manderson, who has done our foreword. So if you look down here, there's my brother Bear Ty, rest in peace, brother. If you look down here, you will see table of contents, dedication, thank you, acknowledgements, foreword. This is just all the list of what's in the tables of contents, and at the end it will be numbered. But it's not been formatted yet. So anyway, right, so we thank our seed donors for supporting us for the Look Like Me book challenge. Yay. I am going to just continue. So if we just bring this right down, we can see that the foreword goes on to 4 pages, which is not ideal, especially for a children's book. So I'm definitely going to have to narrow it down to 2 pages at least. So it will require some, cutting out and so on and so forth. The text I've made, I'm using a new font, which I'm not sure about yet. It looks nice, but I don't know if it's readable for young children. So I'm going to speak to my proofreader, and I'm going to look into, nice texts for young people. We normally use Calibri, but that looks a bit basic. But I do want young people to be able to be confident to read it. All right, so let's just get to it. It's bank holiday weekend, so I've got bank holiday here. So I'm not at this point going to be showing you what I look like today, but you can hear me and you can see my screen. Now, I haven't read this, but I have got a note that we're going to be, reading this together for the first time. I have got a note that it says here that should say stress levels, not stress Neils. So that's the first thing that I'm going to go to. I'm going to search for the word Neils. So we're going to find here, just type it in. It says no matches. Did I spell it right? Okay, sometimes it plays up a bit. Let's try it here. Okay. Let's try find and replace. That might be a bit better. So find the word Neils. Okay, and we want to replace it with the word levels. So hopefully it will find it this way. Let's see. Okay, it's not found it. Maybe it's no S. All right, so I can't find the error that she's made, but I will read through it, and the proofreader will read through it, and we'll go through it. So the first thing I think I want to say about editing is that you almost got to anticipate what they're going to say ahead, and I tend to do it in my head. So I think what I'll just do, I'll read I'm trying to think if I should read aloud or just read in my head and then say the changes aloud. I'm not sure. I think maybe for the purpose of this video, I'll read aloud. So remember, I've not seen this. It's just been in my inbox. And as I said, we're going to have to delete this down quite a bit because already, as you can see here, our book is 50 pages, which, you know, is obviously amazing, but in terms of a colour book and wanting to keep costs down, it's quite a big book. So, yeah, we need to balance that out a little bit. All right, so I think I'll probably just do the first 1 or 2 pages and then we'll go from there. When I met Winston Duncan at the book launch of a mutual friend, I saw one word embodied within her: passion. I'm not a great sight reader, by the way. Winston demonstrated her commitment to the launch of our friend's book as if it were her own work she was endorsing, yet at the same time with the ability to let the author shine. That's a really nice thing to say. So I would put it something like, we're going to have to make this concise. I would say something like Winston Duncan's passion for books is infectious. That's how I interpret that sentence. And then I'll just take all of this because we need to get really specific. Little did I know this would be the beginning of a new chapter, not only me, generations of young aspiring authors of Black origin, as I became familiar with Winston's work that Winston leads, known as Peaches Publications. Funnily enough, it took me a while to call her Winsome, as the title of her publishing company suited her so much. She was remembered to me as Peaches. I never knew this. Peaches are sweet and endearing. Oh, they're so true. They come from a seed, and a seed is exactly what Winsome and Peaches publication have sown in the Popcorn House. So I like that. So I'm going to separate that, and I'm going to say I met her in the capacity of Peaches Publications. And then I'm going to say a peach. So I'm just thinking, it's really weird speaking and talking. A peach, no, yeah, a peach is sweet and an endearing fruit. They come from a seed, and the seed is exactly what Winsome and Peaches Publication have sown in the Popcorn House. So I'm going to say exactly what Winsome and her team, and then take out here, because we've already mentioned Peaches Publications. I hate repetition, duplication. It's just me. Seed, and is exactly what Winsome and her team have sown in the Popcorn House. So I'm going to take this little bit out. Normally I don't do big chops. I think if it was like a regular book whereby we're not watching a page count, then I would just make certain changes. But because we have to, you know, decrease, it is just what it is. Okay, so then let's see. Right, so watching the development of my friend, the author, inspired me to finally commit pen to paper. As a secondary school head teacher, you may know this takes some dictation outside of work or school. In my coaching sessions with Winsome, I could feel her drive. She kept pushing and pushing until I was able to articulate the ideas inside. So here I'm going to break it, because yes, we do have a book confidence coaching relationship, but I'm not sure yet how relevant it is to this piece. It might just be a sentence in passing. So I'm just going to break it to see if I'm going to change that or take it out. The next thing I knew, I was giving my keynote speech at speech as the very first Look Like Me book challenge. The next thing I knew, I was giving a keynote speech at the very first Look Like Me book challenge. The entire session, led on Zoom, was so artistically done that I was drawn into staying and participating in the whole workshop. I am happy to say that I was asked to speak again at the follow-up session and took great pleasure in doing so. Children as definitely the future, and we need to act now to support and encourage that. So that's a nice sentence. So I would sort of chop that there. In here, I don't think we need to reference, well, yes, she's a secondary teacher here. So, right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this out. Right, so as a secondary school head teacher, I think that's a capital H because it's a job title. You may know this, that organising 30 children for a workshop takes some planning. So again, we're chopping huge parts of this, but we're trying to keep the essence. So the next thing I knew, okay, I was given the keys back. Okay, so let's reference us doing the coaching here. So I had personally received one-to-one coaching for my book with Winsome, and I'm going to say one-to-one book confidence coaching. For my book with Winsome. And then I was honoured, see where I'm trying to go here, to be asked to give the keynote speech. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually doing at the very first, I would say, historic Look Like Me book challenge. So what I'm doing here is I am trying to keep it succinct as much as possible. And this is developmental editing because there's a lot of structure changes as well. So let's see what this blue line means. The entire session, I think it's no comma, okay. The entire session was led on Zoom, was so artistically done that I was drawn to staying to participating into the whole workshop. I am happy to say. So then I would say something like, the entire workshop was led on Zoom. Was led, so give a bit more description here, online, on Zoom, and was artistically, try to take out so because it's more of a connective, it's like an extra word, I mean, artistically done, that I was drawn into staying, it's into one word, into staying and participating for, I would say, for two consecutive workshops. And then that means we don't need to use the sentence below that says she was going to do a follow up. There's a good word here. She talks about it was a great pleasure in doing so. So the entire session was led on Zoom and was artistically done, and was artistically done that, well, maybe I'll put that back in because that kind of works, and was so artistically done that I was drawn, no other word for that, drawn, strain, pinch, nah, that I was drawn into staying and participating for the next 2 consecutive workshops. And she said, I'm happy to say I was asked to see follow up. So I would take this out and then just put up here, I took great pleasure in sharing my PowerPoint presentation. Presentation. I think that's the correct spelling. PowerPoint. Okay. Just put a little dash in there because the line's now looking a bit gappy. So this, why I isolated this sentence, because I wanted to move it up and pop it here. So children, I think that should be not as definitely, are definitely. Right, so children are definitely the future, and we need to act now to support and encourage them. The entire session was led on Zoom and was so artistically done that I was drawn into staying and participating for the 2, you always got to read through what you've written. for the 2 consecutive, don't need the word whole, workshops. I took great pleasure in sharing my PowerPoint presentation, say with the group, just a little bit more description. Okay, so it goes, growing up in the UK as a member of the Black community, there were lots of stories I loved to read. Some of my famous authors included those classics such as Roald Dahl, and also authors like Judy Blume. I recall my first book, which featured a Black character on the cover, was The Colour Purple. That, however, was not until I had reached the age of 12. My experience of reading and imagining characters often meant I would not envision myself, rather the images of those described in the book, or simply from the front covers. Pre-teen, my readership contained characters such as Topsy and Tim. The stories in and of themselves were great, but there was always something missing. Me. Where could I fit into the story? Could I even feature as a character of a story? The question didn't probably occur explicitly, although it was one of the things you realize you felt that way once it was pointed out. So I think we're just going to keep this segment here. It's really good what she's written, but we're just going to just give it a taste. And we're just going to take this out. And we're just going to give it a taste of what she's trying to say. So pre-teens, my readership contained characters such as Topsy and Tim. The stories in of themselves were great, but they were also missing something. Me. Where could I fit? Where could I fit into any story? And then she says, could I even feature as a character of a story? So I think we'll move this. Could I even fit as a character of a story? And she says, the question didn't properly occur explicitly, though. It was one of those things, if you realise you felt, right, okay, so we don't need that bit. Now you can see, I'm just trying to see how long we've been on the call. It's not saying, but probably half hour now. So now you can just get a bit more of an idea. I'm going to take it to the edge of the page and then I'm going to crack on. But now we've gone to 3 pages now. So I'm showing you some juice. You're not supposed to see that. Not yet anyway. So now we can see that 1, 2, 3 pages. So we've got rid of 1 page. So we're just going to keep going until we can get that too. Just trying to see how long we've been online. All right, so let me continue on. There could not be a more poignant time now for this book. So we're going to say, is that this book for the Popcorn House? Because that's what it's called. Just gives it a bit more description. So I'm just going to save this and go and get my charger because my laptop has decided that the battery's low. I'll be back. So I guess the other thing I want to say is that you should never edit a book when you feel tired. That is a very bad thing to do. Your brain gets discombobulated. Okay, so let's continue on. So there could not be a more poignant time than now for the Popcorn House. The collection of identities with their wonderful characters and magical missions make the Popcorn House an exciting exploration for all children of all backgrounds, but opens the doors for children to see themselves and others that look just like them. So I like it up to here. I don't like that filler word, but. So we're just going to try and figure that out. This is a really good sentence. So, exciting exploration for all children of all backgrounds, but opens the door. So I'm going to put here the opportunity of an open door benefits. This is where I come a bit psychic because I just don't know where the sentence is going, but I'll write it until I do. Benefits children of colour to see themselves and others that look like them as the protagonists for a change. I'm going to say main character because the children that are reading this are going to be 7 to 12. And I'm not saying that, you know, they're not going to stand the word protagonist, but yeah, I'll feel more comfortable. You've got to think about your readership. So as main characters for change. So I'll just read that sentence again. The opportunity of an open door benefits children of colour to see themselves and others that look like them as the main characters for change. I'm going to say as the main characters for a change. So I'm going to say as the main characters for an impactful change. It may sound strange. However, I don't like buts, I hate buts. However, in the eyes of a child, there begins a new appreciation of who they can become, as we all know stories fuel imaginations. This has been demonstrated in the film Black Panther, because I think that's quite relevant. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace. Panther. Then we'll bring that sentence up because it looks like a good sentence. I just didn't want two imaginations closing and starting again. Imagination helps us believe. Our belief underpins who we are. We become what we aspire to be. We cannot be what we do not see. So I'm going to go over that sentence a little bit because it doesn't quite ring with me yet. It may sound strange, however, in the eyes of a child, there begins a new appreciation of who they can become, as we all know who they can become. I think, comma, as we all know, stories fuel the imagination. This has been demonstrated in the film, in the success, again, describing words, success of the film Black Panther. Imagination helps us to believe. Our belief underpins who we become. We become what we aspire to be. We cannot be what we do not see. So, you know, I'm not a proofreader. Proofreader Joanna Oliver will go out over this. Just checking to see how much worse. We still got quite a bit to chunk it down. So there's a couple of things we can do here. At the moment, it's set to 12. I was going to say we can reduce the size, but 12 is about the lowest that I want to go. So, brought together by Winston Duncan, I feel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the rest of the page and just figure out what I'm going to keep, because we've only got, if we look here, if I highlight this, we've only got that left, and we really have to keep it to 2 pages. Another thing that I can do is just tighten this a bit more. I might not necessarily even keep it this font, to be honest, because it is quite big. But if I just tighten the margins a bit more. Oh, it's already single. Wow. Wow. Let's set that to 0. See if it makes a change. It's justified. At the moment with this book, we're sort of going to the left at the moment. Just easier for children. No, it didn't make a difference anyway. Ooh, all right, let's keep on going. Brought together by Winston Duncan, I feel very honoured and proud. We mentioned that earlier, to be included in her team, which worked together to grow the seeds from the Look Like Me book challenge. That's quite a good sentence. It is all about this. Why is it that in 2020 only a minority of the literature that exists features characters that look like members of Black and ethnic backgrounds? The combination of enhancing our children's literacy at any opportunity with the gift of creating something that will remain a sure win. So again, I think I'm going to go over this in the introduction. So I'm just going to make this red because I might take this out. I'm not sure yet. Well, this book is groundbreaking. I say this because it is a book born out of children for children. I like that. It is a book born out of passion and a desire to make the world a better place. I like that. It is a book born out of the vision that someone had to use the quote from the famous singer, I believe, The Children of the Future, and to ensure that they leave their legacies. That's really quite a nice, softer play. So what I would do here is I would say the popcorn house is groundbreaking, is a groundbreaking book. So I'm going to take this out because I will mention this in my introduction. So I will take that out. I look forward to the days that this book is spoken about as part and parcel of everyday lives of young children over the world. Winsome has managed to combine her gifts of storytelling, rhyme, and genuine passion for children's fiction to create a magical storyboard which is filled of a moral purpose and hope. I like that. So I'm going to take that out. Winsome and her collection of 30, well, for young, or it's 30, but young writers bring us into a world of fantasy and imagination. So I think we're going to say here, Winsome and her 30 young budding authors, because that's what we call them. Oh gosh, let's just see how many words we got left. Bring us into the world of fantasy and imagination that every child would be thrilled to be a part of. Now, I've just seen something at the bottom again that talks about rhyme. So let's just go here. Take in every word, enjoy the rhyme as you read along and follow the adventure. Parents, family members will enjoy reading this with their children and their younger siblings, relatives, and friends. So I think I'm going to take this out. We might have the end. We might have the end of the book. Woo-hoo. Just give me a sec. Put that there. And then remove this. There's a little bit I want to keep, but let me see, because we can have about 3 more lines here. Let me see what she writes here. Might want to include something else. Whew, my gosh. And I'm kind of doing this quickly because I'm on deadline. I'm trying to go to print so that I have a copy to show the children on Saturday what the book looks like in my hand. Yeah, so it's interesting. Right, okay, let's see. Right, so we go back to this sentence. Winsome and her 30 young budding authors bring us into a world of fantasy and imagination that every child would be thrilled to be a part of. Take in every word, enjoy the rhyme. I think it's rhymes. We've got loads of rhymes in there. Enjoy the rhymes as you read along and follow the adventure. I'm going to put here as you follow the magical, because it definitely is magical, adventure. Gosh, I've been working on this all bank holiday since Friday. It's definitely a different kind of energy doing a children's book because you have to put yourself in the mind of that child. Parents and family members will enjoy reading this with their children and or younger siblings, relatives and friends. Help us to continue to spread the word. So looking at this, I think we've got 1, maybe 2, no, about 1 more sentence left. So let's see if there's anything in this last section that I haven't read. I'm yet to write my own works to be published, and I continue to hear Winsome's encouraging words in my ear. This only serves to be reminded, to remind me how humble I am to be a part of this project. To set alight my by the minds of 30 young authors. It was truly amazing who have achieved this. According to Winsome, I have about 3 books inside me. Well, until these books come out, I intend to continue to support the journey of authors of the Popcorn House. As you have this book in your hand, I will, like me, take the time to delve into the story. There's something there in that line. So I'm going to get rid of everything else and see if I can incorporate that in. And I think that's it. So really, I think mainly what I've done is I've just taken out our personal connection, not in a bad way, but just in a way that it gave me space to purely write about the book. Let's see what we've got here. As you have the book, so maybe I'll put, as you have this book, it should be in your hand, like me, please take the time to delve inside this beautifully crafted story. Again, I'm not looking for spelling checks or anything like that. So what I'll do is I'll take away the call to action so I can fit this center in. So it might fit. Let's see what we can do. Let's try it. Remember, this is 12, so it's very small, this writing. Okay, so we've got enough space to add her name. Yes, I done it. Ooh, that was tight, guys. My gosh, that was tight. But you know I'm a G when it comes to editing. I do this in my sleep. Right, I'm very happy with that. So I didn't think I was going to do the whole thing with you, but I did. I did. So what I am going to do is just read it through one more time. I read it through like 2 or 3 times, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to read it through one more time and just tweak. Just make some tweaks for the sake of this video and then sort of hand it over to my proofreader who's waiting. She's waiting on me. I hate writing under pressure. I really do. But I think I've got the essence of what Miriam Anderson was trying to say. And I'm very happy now that I've managed to save 2 pages, because this is where I'll be putting my introduction in a minute. But you're not going to see that. You're going to have to wait to buy the book. But, you know, it really is a skill. It really is a skill. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to read from the top. Right. So this is the foreword. Winsome Duncan passion. I think it's, remember, proofreader's going to look at it for us. It's just been a long day. I've just been in this book for 3 days, guys. Seriously, like, I wanted to Netflix and chill. Y'all got me in this book. Anyway, I'm not complaining. Winsome Duncan's passion for books is infectious. I met her in the capacity of Peach's publication. A peach is sweet and endearing, and an endearing fruit. They come from a seed, and a seed is exactly what Winsome and her team have sown in the Popcorn House. I'll say in the Popcorn House narrative. So we're just tightening it up now. It's quite interesting for me to talk this process out because it's such an internal thing for me. At first I thought, oh, I'm not going to talk it out. But then how do you learn if I don't say anything? you know, so it's really interesting how my thought process is. Anyway, let's continue. As a secondary school head teacher, you may know that organizing 30 children for a workshop takes some planning. I had personally received one-to-one book confidence coaching for my book with Winsome. I was honored to be asked to give the keynote speech as the very first see, I'm looking at spotting some stuff here, at the very first historic Look Like Me book challenge workshop. And my team's been great. They really have. And we're going to be applying for funding for the second cohort, which will be 13 to 18. And I think we'll have a lot more engagement there because young children are more likely to go online and book rather than their parents. So happy days. Children are the future. So that kind of embodies what Whitney Houston said, I believe the children are the future. So I didn't put them both in. Children are the future, and we need to act now to support and encourage them. The entire session was led on a Zoom. I would say a Zoom conference. No, Zoom video call. And was so artistically done that I was drawn into staying and participating for 2 consecutive sessions. For 2 consecutive workshops. I took great pleasure in sharing my PowerPoint presentation about cultural identity. So again, we're just giving a bit more detail. It was cultural identity and the importance of our family tree with the group. Pre-teen, my readership contained characters such as Topsy and Tim. I remember them. The stories in and of themselves were great, but there was also something missing. So I think here what I will say was great, but were great. There we go, that word again, but. So however, they did lack representation, equal. So we're just tightening it up, equal representation. As there was always something missing, me. Could I even feature as a character of a story? There could not be a more poignant time than now for the Popcorn House. Oops. To be launched. The collection of identities with their wonderful characters. So I think maybe identities with their wonderful characters and magical missions makes the Popcorn House an exciting. So because we've had Popcorn House in this sentence, we can now say makes this book and bring that up. and exciting exploration for all children of any background, because we've got the word all there, we've got the word there, all and all. So I try not to repeat. So, excuse me, any background. Oh, nearly there. The opportunity for an open door benefits children of colour. The opportunity of an open door benefits children of colour to see themselves and others that look like them as the main characters for an impactful change. It may sound strange, however, in the eyes of a child, there begins a new appreciation of who they can become. As we all know, stories fuel the imagination. This has been demonstrated in the success of the film Black Panther. Imagination helps us to believe. So the word imagination, let's just see what else we've got. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. It's a big sentence, so let's just leave it. Unless, so let's try this. However, in the eyes of a child, there begins a new appreciation of who they can become. As we all know, stories fuel, I'm going to say inspiration. Because again, we don't want to keep too many of the same words together. It's just one of my pet peeves. Inspiration. And then it goes on to say, imagination helps us to believe. Our belief underpins who we are. We become what we aspire to be. We cannot be what we do not see. So imagination helps us to believe. Good. Yeah. Okay. Happy with that. Brought together by Winston Duncan, I feel very honoured and proud to be included in her team, which worked together to grow seeds from the Look Like Me book challenge. I'm going to say seeds of greatness from the Look Like Me book challenge. Popcorn House is a groundbreaking book. I say this because it is a book born out of children, for children. That reminds me, for us, by us, FUBU. Born out of children, for children. I would say born out of the minds of children. I think we've lost Miriam there. For children, might be able to pull it back in a minute. Can you pull it back? Let's see. Okay, so what I might have to do is take a word out, or just undo that sentence. But let's just look a bit more. It is a book born out of a vision someone had, to use the quote from the famous singer. Oh, I did keep it in. I believe children are our future. And ensure that they leave a legacy. Okay, so if I stop there, being a part of this wonderful story. So if I take that out, I can bring her name back up. And we just credit Whitney. Let's see. It is a book born out of the vision of someone, born out of Winsom's vision. Winsome's vision, who had the tenacity to embrace the quote, to embrace the quote from Whitney. I believe children are our future. And ensure that they leave their legacy in this story. What's a shorter word we can put instead of wonderful? In this beautiful, no, in this lovely, in this positive. Hey, we got it. Story. Woo! Winsome and her 30 young budding authors brings us into a world of fantasy and imagination. It brings us into the world of a fantasy and imagination that every child would be thrilled to be a part of. Take in every word and enjoy. I'm thinking here, it brings us into the world of Caleria. That's where we are. Brings us into the world of Caleria. It's one of the children named it. A fantasy. We've got imagination already. So a fantasy that every child would be thrilled to be a part of. Take in every single word is what I want to say here. Take in every single word. Enjoy the rhymes, the rhyme play, the rhymes, the rhyme play. I think it's rhyme play. Enjoy the rhyme play as you read along and follow their magical adventure. Parents and family members we've got enjoy already. So again, it's not about repetition. So we'll love reading this with their children. I want to say with their children, grandchildren, and or younger siblings, relatives and friends. So with their children, grandchildren, I don't think you need that. So siblings, relatives and friends. Yeah, that's better. As you hold. Nearly there, guys, nearly there. You don't even know the day's been so long. As you hold this book in your hands, like me, please take the time to delve inside this beautifully crafted, I'm going to say tell, because we said story, so I'm going to say tell. Help us to continue to spread the word about the inclusion of every child. Yay! Now, normally what would happen now is that I would print it out and I would I'd print it out and I would read it again. But I'm not going to do that now. I'm fairly happy with it. I'm on a deadline and I've still got the introduction and epilogue to do. So I am just going to go and crack on with that and finish this video. But hopefully, you know, you've seen an insight into what it takes to edit a piece. And if I stop sharing my screen, I'm just going to copy and paste so I can share this updated for Word, because it's always nice to show them what you've done, because I have taken quite a bit out. But it's nice to know that she had so much good things to say, really. And sometimes that can make editing more easy as well. So, yep. Oh, it's getting a bit chilly. Right, I've saved that. So let's stop. And let's see, how long have I been recording? Oh, it's not even telling me. All right, so thank you. My name is Winston Duncan. I have been your editor on this video training. And if you haven't seen, I've got a workshop, Just Write It seminar. It's a 2-hour seminar. And hopefully you got an insight into why editing now takes so long. This is why I tell all people, and this is why I want this video up anyway, so people can just understand what's really going on. But yeah, so also I've got another training on how to typeset your book. All right, so it's all out there. Take a look. It's all on my YouTube and my Facebook videos. Thank you very much. You can go to the website www.looklikemebook. No, sorry, I've got two now. www.peachespublications.co.uk, or you can visit the Look Like Me Book Challenge, which is www.looklikeme.co.uk, and make a donation, purchase a banner, attend our session. It's 5 days to go. Saturday the 5th is our next session. All right, take care. Thank you. Bye.